Welcome to the Penny Bloom Podcast. Ain't another place that has got more bombast. Romp past your mom, dads, listening to Tomcats, talking everything that make you sad. We don't want that. We're here to make you smile. Put your mind at ease. Peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Keanu Reeves. This what we about. This some weeding now. We'll talk until we can't no more, and then we peacing out. All right, let's go. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome in to the 112th episode of the Penny Bloom Podcast. It is I, Colton Robertson, and this is the Bad Batch, bitches. I'm joined by the most defective group of podcasters, and I can tell you our program is certainly defective, as we have just recorded 2 hours of content, which we lost.
And it was brilliant. I just want to say,
brilliant too. We'll be revisiting it in a few weeks, but we have to let that conversation sit, and we will wrestle with the fact that we just wasted 2 hours for the foreseeable future. I'm also joined by Joseph George. What's up, buddy?
What it do? Even though 2 hours is gone, I'm still glad we even had that conversation.
It was
the conversation was good enough to just be good on its own. And no recording even needed.
We had some revelatory moments, It was like, oh shit, I never thought about that when watching that scene.
We did have a lot of those. We did have a lot of those.
But yeah, we'll be revisiting it in the next couple weeks. Like I said, but we'll move on. We'll move on to this episode of the Bad Batch. I'm joined by Kyler Barnett. Thank you very much for being here. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, man, I just want to say, fuck Squadcast. They suck, and I fucking missed my dinner because I figured we'd be done by now, but you wanted to go and ruin all of the fucking conversation we had. And also, I don't even care that I missed dinner so much as I care that we just lost that. We lost that. That was sacred. What we had there was gold.
You can walk downstairs, get some food. You can't walk downstairs and grab a missing recording file.
If I could, I would go get it right now, and I would put it back, I would bless the ears of millions, because I have no doubts that that's how many would have listened to that one episode that we will never, ever get back.
Himself.
In a fucking gasoline suit.
Miles' audio file.
Why's it gotta be Miles, huh? Why they gotta pick on him, huh? He's had it rough enough already.
We are also joined by Miles motherfucking Buttress. Thank you very much, homie. What's up?
I mean, just to, reiterate what they said, I'd be a lot happier if I had a little audio file, but, I guess you only get 2 minutes of audio, and that's not good enough for an entire, 2 hour podcast.
It was originally, and that's also the reason we won't have a Patreon exclusive. It was originally going to be the Patreon exclusive. We got an hour into it, and we were like, this is too fucking good. We need to have this in the actual episode. We kept going for another hour, and we stopped, and we're like, Oh. That didn't work.
We got an hour into it and realized, man, we're barely over halfway. I wonder if we'll reach 2 hours, and then we did.
Apparently, boys, it was supposed to happen. The TVA did not show up.
It's a goddamn shame.
This was supposed to happen.
I wish the TVA would show up. I wish the TVA would show up right now. I fucking
what?
Deprive the ears of tens.
Just as we end that recording, it's like, ooh, failed not to render. You just see the TVA storm Miles' house, and it's like, no, this has to get out to the public.
It's because they know that we were on to something.
Oh. But let's jump in here to the ninth episode of the Bad Batch, titled "Bounty Lost," written by Matt Micknovitz, the story editor, writer of Jedi Fallen Order and many episodes of Clone Wars and Rebels. I gotta ask, how'd you feel, Kyler?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I mean, Cad Bane is just electric. He just every time he's on screen, it's just. I mean, can't keep talking about the same things, but I mean, anytime Star Wars gets Western, I tend to take a keen liking to it. And man, it doesn't get any better than like Cad Bane's score. Like you have no doubts what they're going for in that moment. Like it's simple. And then also when you have that world collide with Fennec Shand, I mean, you've just got a recipe right there for about 25 minutes of just pure electricity right there. I mean, that's going to be a great episode.
Ooh, and this fight here between Fennec and Cad Bane was nearly good enough to propel it to one of the ones I picked.
They fight. They just fight. Their fight styles just they in terms of enjoyment of watching, they complement themselves so well to that. Their fight styles are just purely fun to watch go at each other. I mean, Cad Bane has a real keen, like, wanting to lean on the blaster, and he's very methodical about what, like, you know, when he's creeping on somebody, and I think this part of Camino, right? Like, this is Camino.
No, this is Boravio.
Okay, I'm confused because
it's a Kaminoan colony.
Okay, because I'm thinking, like, what the fuck? What part of Camino, like, dried up and got this shit happen to it? Okay, so, got it. I happen to miss the planets a lot. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but I happen to miss them.
I have to take them down and, like, look for them in my rewatch. Like, that's part of why I take the notes, you know?
Well, that's why I lean on you guys to correct me anyway. But, fucking just, like, the way these two characters go at each other and just, like, the way that the shadows fit Bane and also Fennec Shand. Like, they both use that, but totally different ways. Like, Shand is more, like, assassin-like with it. Like, she's trying to sneak up on your back. But, like, he's using the cover more so as, like, cover because he wants to get the blaster out and gunsling that hoe. And I fucking love that.
It's a great battle we got here. How about Joseph George? How'd you feel?
You know, I just got real Rick Sanchez vibes from Cad Bane this episode. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just blue, you know, and blue hair and a guy that just kind of owns everything he shoots at. You know, we didn't get to see Cad Bane go off in this episode like he usually does. But, you know, it was a good fight. You know, no clear winner, really, just kind of a mutual ending sort of thing. You know how a lot of fights in Star Wars happen. But, I mean, when I look back on this episode, that's what I remember is the fight between Cad Bane and Fennec Shand. I mean, obviously.
And I think that this fight is incredibly important in solidifying our view of Fennec Shand's badassery. Like, she stood up to Cad Bane and did just fine.
And you know, like this kind of adds a whole kind of different dynamic in the race for Omega, because there's obviously another side to this that we haven't really seen yet. We've seen the Kaminoan side, and we've seen Omega side with the Bad Batch, but who is Fennec still working for Palpatine? And is Cad, who hired who?
Never working for Palpatine.
Yeah, quit trying to slide that in there like that's just fact.
Who's Fennec? Who's she doing this
for? You didn't see her at the end?
She has the hologram.
Yeah, she got a transmission from one of the...
From Doctor Lady. Yeah.
Yeah, from Lama Su. So, you remember in the first... Actually, this was something you kind of predicted very early on. You predicted that Lama Su was in some other way trying to protect Omega as opposed to being an experiment on her. And you were correct in that. That's actually... She is trying to keep Omega as far away as possible. She wants her nowhere near this.
I forgot about that. That hologram.
Yeah, as long as she's with the Bad Batch, she's fine. So this answered. However, I mean, like you could still hold on to your theory if you wanted to, due to the fact that, like, what if the Kaminoans contingency is for someone else? I don't think it is, but you could continue your theory there. But It was a good episode, and this fight propelled Fennec Shand in a way that she hadn't previously. I mean, obviously we've seen her go to work. We saw her fuck up some stormtroopers in The Mandalorian, and just go full badass all throughout that show. But standing up to Cad Bane and beating his ass for part of the fight, that'll show you who's a badass there. I'll say that. But how'd you feel about it, Miles Buttress?
I liked it. A couple reasons. One of the, kind of already touched on it. The whole, it confirmed. I had mentioned in the last episode, kind of with you, Colton. We had talked about potentially, them bringing in another bounty hunter, potentially even being Boba Fett. Yeah, to come in and save her. It wasn't even thinking about it potentially being Finnick, that came in not to actually collect the bounty, but came in to save her. We talked about, we kind of talked about in the previous episodes, the whole, who are they sending the bounty out to? How does that all work? This confirmed it was the Kaminoans sent the bounty to Bane to get Omega. And then, what's her name? You said her, the Kaminoan. Lama Su sent another bounty separate to Finnick to say, hey, or at least more recently.
The way I take it is the Prime Minister instructed Lama Su to send a bounty hunter after Omega. She instructed Finnick to go after Omega. However, I don't think she instructed her to take her back.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
And then the Prime Minister went out of his way, like when he mentioned last episode, or the episode before that, he was like, we need to bring in another person. And Lama Su's like, don't we already have someone handling matters? Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I've already handled that, didn't I? And kind of fucked up her plans.
Yeah.
But,
liked all that. Also, really liked that obviously the Kaminoans themselves haven't confirmed it, but it did kind of lead into why the Kaminoans were after Omega, and it's not, it wasn't some greater plan. It was literally just, she is in essence Boba Fett. She is in
essence Jango Fett.
Well, but I mean, Boba Fett is in, they are clones, directly off the DNA, no fiddling with outside of making her a female, I guess.
Okay,
but
so how? That's a big thing. It's not like she just popped out female. This is on purpose.
I take it, my guess is they went out of their way when Jango asked them to create Boba. They were like, all right. Because here's another important thing. They had to have been created at the same time, I think. Alpha and Omega. They refer to Boba as Alpha in this episode. They were clearly created in conjunction. They were supposed to be together. And maybe not supposed to be together, but
it could have even been together. We're going to create you I want a child, so they created him gave him a son and a daughter and said, which one do you want? Do you want a son or do you want a daughter?
Yeah.
Or both, but Omega just got lost.
And the Kamino, Jango Fett was like, fuck, this is such a big facility.
But
they all look like me.
So why the immediate threat to kill Omega? If they're just making it as a daughter for Jango, then why is it we have to kill her?
They don't have to kill her. They want to harvest her genetic material.
Yeah, they don't, and at this point, they don't care about. They don't care about. Because they don't care about keeping her alive. They don't care about keeping her alive. They just want, at this point,
they don't need her alive
the DNA.
To get the. Oh, no. So they don't need her alive at all.
It makes it easier if she's alive, but that's why they're like, if it comes down to it and you have to kill her, at least get some DNA back for us.
Yeah.
So that way they then have that first generation DNA for more clones, which is part of, I think, either to try and fight back potentially, or even just then they can be like, look, we can create original clones that are better for you and don't have some of the defects or whatever else that maybe some of the later generation clones might run into.
Also fascinating that Omega is older than any of the Bad Batch, save for Echo. Because of that first generation DNA. The other ones were created after her.
Older than them. She is older than them.
She just wasn't aged. She wasn't aged up. She was created to live a life.
Right. I guess maybe she could be younger. Technically,
no, I mean,
their DNA.
She has pure first generation DNA.
Yeah, more than likely she is. But they were created at the same time.
Do you think that? But probably not. There were probably some clones made first, and then Jango was like, "Give me a daughter." After seeing all these clones, hey, you can just give me a daughter or give me a son. It's probably.
I don't think Jango had anything to do with the creation of Omega. I think the Kaminoans took it onto themselves once once Jango asked for a son, to just be like, well, fuck it, we'll create a female genetic counterpart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This isn't a fuck it moment. This is no.
What?
This is
I didn't say
important.
it was a fuck it moment. What?
Like, this isn't just like we're gonna create Omega because we can, and like, you know, like
Or, no, it could also be they like clearly they're experts on cloning. Maybe they knew eventually this DNA was going to degrade, and they knew Jango's gonna piss off at some point, and he's gonna take Boba with him. So we're gonna create an original copy that we can then continue to extract original Gen 1 DNA from, and not have to worry about the degradation of it from all of our fuckery.
there has to be a reason why she's female, and I don't think it's just because like
Maybe who knows? Maybe it's because part of the cloning process, they like one of them had to be male, maybe one of them had to be female from taking his original DNA or something.
My guess is that, like, my best guess is that there isn't really, like, I can't think of a reason they would make her female. Like, it's like, if they explicitly give you a reason, it's not going to come off well. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I think we just have to accept that they made a female counterpart to Jango Fett's DNA, and that's just that. Like, because if they're like explicitly like, we made it to breed, like, it's like, that's awful.
We made it so Boba and Omega could fuck.
What if there's a conflict where you need Boba and Omega together? Like, what if both of their DNAs together is, like, maybe they discover, like, oh, we actually can't, you know, harvest all of the DNA from just Omega. We have to have the other the other part of it too. I don't know. I'm just trying to throw out something of giving this something, a bigger idea behind it, you know?
My thing, I think, is that Disney was like, you're done with the Skywalkers? We'll give you the Fetts. I think this might be setting up a potential reunion of brother and sister of sorts. Like, maybe even in the Book of Boba, later on. However, it depends on how long the Bad Batch runs for. It's like,
where are they even going? You know?
And how do they get there? Like, it's like,
and where did they come from?
Where did I go?
Oh, that's not where I was going with it. I was going with the where'd you come from? Where'd you go? Where'd you come from? Cotton Eye Joe.
Not my Joe. No, I just went with where my head was at.
Yeah,
I feel I don't know. I just part of me doesn't want to believe that Omega is just like. I feel like there's a master plan behind it, you know. I mean, I always like to think there's a master plan behind things, but like,
you know, and like, here's my thing. I think their master plan is simply that they wanted another source of DNA to be able to create an entire army again. You know, like, they just needed another body to create.
Honestly, also, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like it's also just as likely that there's no real reasoning behind any of this, and that the reason she's female is just because Disney decided, you know what, it'll be, you know, we like the story more if she's female. Because then you get like the father daughter, the brother sister relationship.
If she's not, then she's Boba.
Yeah, that too. It might literally just be to differentiate, for it not to just.
That's true. Boba. That's true. Could be.
Or also option, maybe. You know, the writer of the first episode just decided, you know what I really want? I really want our fans to just be able to scream, Omega! And you won't get that if it's
Omega.
Or I guess it's very beneficial for them to have, you know, that DNA but in female form, because everyone in the universe recognizes a clone's face, but they wouldn't recognize Omega's face. You know, these could be used as spy clones, or, you know,
I read somewhere like the reasoning behind her having blonde hair, though, because, and the idea is that Tamara Morrison's sister in real life has blonde hair, which I thought was fascinating.
Or that they're just going with the opposite of Boba, basically just the opposite of Boba.
Yeah, the inverse.
Fascinating. Also weird to think about the fact that his sister would have blonde hair.
No, and that's also, it goes into the controversy that kind of surrounds the show.
Is she an actor?
I'm not sure. I
That
have
would
no
be insane.
Imagine they did that so that way the Omega would look
It's
like
actually brother and sister. I mean, but
That'd
they're
be fucking-
they're
that'd be
pretty
wild.
old now, though.
in the Book of
they're
Fett.
not
They
in
can
the
cast
young.
his sister in the Book of Fett. No, no, I don't know.
However, that did come up in like the controversy surrounding the character design in this show is that Tamara Morrison isn't a white guy, and all of these characters look like white people.
Yeah.
And that's been primarily the driving force behind, especially the outrage around Omega having blonde hair. Even like it's like
Blue eyes, blonde hair. Does she have blue eyes? I think she has blue eyes.
I actually think
I
she
thought
might
they were-
have like a golden brown.
Oh, can I just mention we had a perfect soundbite on this episode of "I'm Omega." She said it so Omega-like. This episode, I literally laughed for like 5 minutes afterwards because I was kind of zoning out in the episode, and then all of a sudden I just heard "I'm Omega," and I don't know, I just lost it. I couldn't hold it in. It was like I don't know. I just thought. I don't know. I just had to get that one out there. I had a moment during this episode.
Shall we jump into the scene by scene breakdown here?
Maybe we should. Yeah.
Let's go ahead and
Maybe
do
we
it.
should.
Let's do that.
It'll be a quick rundown. Like there's not a lot of places to insert, but we open on Clone Force 99 being chased in space by Crosshair, which I was not expecting. I was like, this is an abrupt opening. Fascinating. And I appreciate, Hunter's hesitation. Like, we can't go anywhere until we figure out where Omega's at. And everyone else is like, dude, we have to go somewhere or else we will never figure out where Omega's at. Like, I understand you just got shot. You're a little loopy right now, but we gotta go. And ultimately he gives the okay and they jump to hyperspace, without Omega. But, they survive. And we're then with Omega on Cad Bane's ship behind a little red wall reminiscent of that in The Phantom Menace. I don't know if that's exactly what I thought of. Yeah. But Omega interacts with the little droid there, Todo.
I fucking hate this little fucking droid. I hate him.
I tried to get behind him after figuring out that he's Seth Green. I can't do it. He is annoying as fuck.
I know, and that's why I love him so much. Because it's Seth Green being an annoying little prick.
No, he sucks. He is the fucking worst. I hate
It's
this
the point.
That's
the point.
I don't care. I like that.
Todo.
Yeah, like that's fine. Like, no, I'm not saying that he's not necessary. I'm not saying it's not good to have characters that are meant to be hated. I'm just saying they hit the nail on the head. I fucking hate him. I hate his guy.
Yeah, I don't like this guy. I don't like him one
Think
bit.
about it.
Such a good job.
You're making it sound like because I'm supposed to hate him and I do hate him that means I therefore should love him. No,
that's exactly. You should.
No,
it's like 3PO. You really hate him, but you love him because you hate him. But this guy, there's no love because you hate him. You just hate him. That's kind of how I feel about this.
I don't fucking like this guy.
He just, I don't know.
He's like, ha ha, we took your comms.
Like why
like,
when she had his life in her hands and she chose to temporarily stun him for like 2 minutes. Like 2 minutes.
I mean, what do you
after
expect
fixing
her
him up,
to do?
too.
Fucking kill him? No,
Yes,
no,
that is
Omega's not
very
just gonna
much-
fucking execute him.
That is very much what I wanted.
Droid.
And it's a little girl.
He's not taking a soul. She's not taking a soul. It's a droid. Like it's
You really think in a child or a children's show they're gonna have a child stab a robot through the head and kill it?
She did it. She did it, and all she did was just like frazzle his shit out. Well, I'm saying just give it a little extra, and just go finish the job.
Go Don Cheadle talking about
No,
baby families.
you guys are giving this fucking little robot like value, like he actually has like a soul or like a no, he fucking sucks and he should have been killed right there and there. He's an enemy.
What's annoying though is that this dude's been around since like season 2 of the Clone Wars.
Like simply put, simply put, like she should have killed him, and like there's no feeling bad about it because he sucks, and also it's a robot. It's not a life like actual real like life person, and also I don't care.
I can't. This is like
I hate him.
one of the only times This is one of you're having like a me moment kind of right now, Kyler.
I'm saying with Kyler.
I'm surprised that I'm not you right now. I'm surprised
Kyler,
that I
you
am
saying
not you.
that like taking the life like wouldn't matter. Whenever C-3PO, whenever he almost died, were you sad?
That's C-3PO. It's completely different.
No, but whenever C-3PO was about to get his fucking memory wiped, and he's like, "Goodbye, all of my friends."
Let me tell you.
Did that affect you? Because it's not a life, but it's still a character.
Let me tell you something. I like C-3PO. That is a good character. This is a fucking villain and an evil person, and I hate him. And he can. It's okay.
Also, I don't want to hear it from Joe and Miles that if Omega would have put a blaster up to Todo and blown a hole in him, I know you two would have loved it. Oh. And I don't want to hear that you wouldn't have.
Okay. See, now these are two very different things. If Omega pulls a blaster out and blows his fucking head off, would have loved it. Her just being like zap and then just holding it in like that's not funny. That's not interesting. Blow his fucking brains out.
No,
if you're gonna do it, go all the way or don't do it.
Listen. He is an obstacle in her path. He is a villain. He is against her. He is an enemy.
My way.
He is an enemy. And listen, I'm not saying if it was a real life human being and she had their life in her hands that she should kill them. Like, that's a case by case basis.
Can you imagine?
But this is a robot. This is a pesky ass robot that is just going to give you constant shit. Like, he's never going to be the reason you like.
She should have here.
Yeah,
the way that he comes back
it's
later,
worse.
Fuck this guy.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking.
Okay, but think about this.
I'm glad that we had this little mini argument about whether Todo should die. But Cad Bane comes down the ladder and introduces himself, and he assures her no one's coming after her. He made sure of it, and Todo inquires about Bane fixing his booster. He's like, "Can you please fix me? This is quite inconvenient," and Bane just completely ignores him. I'm like, that's exactly how you should treat Todo.
This is why I didn't want them. This is why I'm on the side of not killing Todo. Because he's not just an asshole to be an asshole. He's being an asshole because Cad Bane's telling him to be an asshole, and he's doing everything for Cad Bane. And then Cad Bane treats him like a piece of fucking garbage.
Fuck Todo and fuck Cad Bane.
No. Todo does everything for Cad Bane.
I'm rising up for Todo. Okay? Todo, you guys are going a little bit too hard on this guy.
Todo is the reason Cad Bane is successful as he is. If Todo wasn't there at the fucking fight against Hunter, Omega would have whacked Cad Bane shit.
I got a question. I just have a random question.
So, okay, now it's definitely fuck Cad Bane, because if you're gonna go ahead, Colton. Sorry, I'll let
Joe or Miles. How do you feel about BB-8?
Neutral. I'd say I more lean on the side if I like him, though.
How about Todo?
Fucking love him.
I'm completely neutral on this. I don't know where this Todo hate's coming from. I honestly don't. I don't get it.
You have an affinity for annoyance?
And even Todo, the dislike, I don't understand the pure hatred.
The only reason Todo
exists.
It's
not as deep. Okay, you guys have driven me to take this into making listen, it's not a pure hatred, but you drug this argument on so much that now you think I've talked about it enough that I do hate him. I just think
it has been your guys' fault.
Yeah,
okay,
I'm saying
Kyler,
all
let's
I'm
not
saying
act like
is,
you started from a point of kindness for Todo. You said, I wish she would have just held that shit on for longer and killed him.
Trying to gaslight Joe and Miles into believing that they started this argument.
No.
Well, he did not start this. Kyler started this with saying he wished she would have killed Todo.
I said, I wish she would have killed him, and then you guys acted like that was...
Let it keep going.
No, let me finish this. You guys acted like that was sacrilege, and I simply defended myself by saying it's a fucking annoying robot. It is a lifeless, soulless character. What's the big... Why are you so attached to him? And then
Todo is meant to make toddlers laugh. Todo is meant to make children and toddlers laugh. That's the only reason he's in the show.
Do toddlers like watching a fellow toddlers get picked on?
At the hands of Omega.
Dude,
Okay,
You said-
Toddlers
watch-
like watching other
watch-
toddlers get annoyed and fucked
Watch
on by this
Todo
annoying
through
ass
the
robot.
eyes. Watch Todo through the eyes of a 3-year-old. He'll be like, "Ha, that little dude is so funny."
Oh, I'm sorry, Joe. I'm sorry that I don't view the Bad Batch through the lens of a 3-year-old child. Jesus. I'm just kidding, man. I just like fucking with you.
Toto has this.
I
This
can
is the
tell
most.
that one hit a little too
This
close
is
to
like.
home.
This is one of the most divided we've ever been, and it's over fucking Todo. This is the most heated we've like ever. This is like kind of the most heated we've like ever gotten over like anything. Like, and it's over Todo. I didn't think we'd
I
speak.
think we're all a little fired up over the lost 2 hours of recording.
I didn't even think Todo's name would be mentioned in this recording. And we spent
It has to
10
be.
10 minutes talking about him. We spent 10 minutes talking about fucking Todo, dude.
We're going to move on from Todo.
Let's move
Todo
on
will
from
be
Todo.
mentioned only by name. No more Todo discourse. We've gotten our fill of Todo. But, Cad brings up a hologram of the Prime Minister, Lamasu, and they agree to have a meet at the rendezvous. And Cad wants his credits. And at Camino, they agree to send Tonway to Seabane on Boravio. He instructs that once they have the necessary genetic materials, they can dispose of Omega. And back with the ship, Omega tries to convince Todo to let her out so that she can help her get the booster back on, and Todo denies the offer like the little piece of shit he is. No more. But we cut to Echo showing the team Cad Bane's file, and he tells them that he was once involved in a plan to kidnap the Chancellor. I was like, this guy is a fucking rap sheet, and Echo would know. Like, if there's anybody here who would know, it would probably be Echo. And I liked that little bit of it. And Wrecker gets real upset. Why do they want Omega? And Tech's like, yeah, turns out I could have known everything the whole time.
That's kind of insane that this is how they dropped this information. I did not expect it to be dropped in this way. Like,
it's so casual. He's just like, she's more valuable than we realized. She is a perfect genetic replication of Jango Fett, one of two, the other being Alpha, later referred to as Boba. And due to the fact that Boba disappeared at the beginning of the Clone War, Omega is the sole living source of Fett's raw genetic material. And Echo's like, and then Echo puts 2 and 2 together real conveniently too. Well, if that's the case, then the Kaminoans must have put out the bounty. It's like, okay, we're done looking. And obviously, if we're gonna defend Todo because it's for children, we have to defend this part because it's for children as well. It's just like, this is simple. You don't have to read more into it. That's that. Fuck Todo. But we cut back to Omega again, instructing Todo on how to fix his leg, and she ultimately convinces them to let her out. And when she does, she shuts Todo down temporarily, sadly, and she says, she's sorry, it's only temporary, and she begins to look for a comm device. And obviously, this is a moment that is a reflection of Omega's character. However, she should have killed him. Cad Bane pulls them out of hyperspace at Boravio, and he calls for Todo's help, to no answer. Todo's temporarily dead. And down in the hole, Omega continues her search as Cad makes his landing, and he calls again for the droid, to no answer. And he goes searching to find a turned-off Todo, and no prisoner. He asks Todo, after turning him on, where'd she go?
she's obviously right there.
Obviously, oh.
Nothing I enjoyed more than seeing him get fucked. I wish Cad Bane would have actually put a cap in his ass right then and there.
God.
Yeah, I'll lean into it now. Fuck it. Somebody's got to wear the black hat. Say less. I hate that motherfucker with a passion now, Miles. You've This is my Joker moment. This is my fucking Joker moment right here.
Kyler,
go.
you say this.
In episode 10 of the Bad Batch, Kyler walks in all animated and puts a cap in Todo.
It's going to be like...
You say that like you hating Todo more makes me mad or makes me like him less. In fact, it only makes me love him more because he's further.
That's the thing.
He's pissing you off without doing anything.
The more you like him, the more I fucking hate him.
And the more I love him.
It's an endless cycle. It's like the way the Sith.
That's what I was about
The dark
to
side
say.
and the dark side feeds the passion. It all ties together.
Wow.
But you don't even know about it. You will never
You don't
know.
even know about it.
We
never know.
Good
It's
conversation.
lost forever. It's gone. There is one FBI agent who heard that entire pod and was like,
Damn, they're fucking onto something.
Yes.
That's why it got fucking deleted.
It was our TVA agent, yeah.
Lucasfilms knew we were onto something.
Damn.
Oh, Joe, you took the perspective of like it was always supposed to happen. What
But
if we
maybe-
got corrected?
Yeah, we got corrected.
We aren't the variants. This was the way it was supposed to. Oh, fuck.
yeah, I don't fuck with that.
But,
Mhm.
you know, we cut to Omega running from the ship, activate air comm, reaching out to the team, and she gets through. They hear her, but they need to boost the signal, and she hears Hunter's voice, and she's like, fuck yeah, he's alive! You know, like, she thought he died. Like, and then he's like, Omega, and Hunter? Hell yeah! Woo! You know, she was so excited here, and I love this little moment of light and, you know, clearly fearful Omega, and she's like, yeah, he's like, where are you? And Omega's like, fuck if I know, dude. I'm on a planet anywhere in the galaxy. I have no idea. And Tech concludes that they need her to like set off a power search to locate her, and instructs her to find a panel nearby, and she finds one near a door, which she gets open. But right at that time, Cad Bane shows up, and she calls out for help. And Cad Bane smashes the comm, and Todo finds that an unidentified ship is making its entrance, and it's like, I was like, oh, who's coming into the mix here? What do we got? What's going on?
At first, I'm like, did the Bad Batch find her
No,
that
I
quickly?
knew.
Like, somehow, I was like,
I knew right off rip it wasn't Bad Batch, so I'm sitting here racking my brain like, oh shit, who's gonna be causing some fucking...
Me too. And I'm glad it was Fennec. That ties it together really well. I was like,
Well, the thing is, yeah, I'm kind of glad it's
now,
I'm glad it's a familiar face, because like if it wasn't Fennec, I would have had no idea who he'd even like begin to guess about who it would have been. So like,
well, there's also the factor that like this is our first episode in a while where we didn't get a brand new cameo.
yeah, I guess we could be like, I mean, Django is in play, but like he's not gonna get sent.
Django dead.
Yeah, or
Django
I mean, Boba
Boba.
could come into play, but like it's not like he's gonna come get Omega because he's still young right now, right? So
Yeah, for sure. But you know, Cad and Omega hear some blaster fire in the distance after getting notified of this approaching ship, and when they come around a corner, they find Tonway dead, and Omega's like, she needs help, and Fennec Shand emerges from the smoke. And Cad Bane and Shand face off for a second. It's like, oh, this is tough. They talk their shit, and she's like, all right, I'll make you a final offer. You get the credits, I get the girl. And I was like, why was this complicated? That should have been the end of it there. You just wanted your payment. What? But, you know, Todo had to come in and fuck everything up.
Yep. You get what you fucking
Cad's-
deserve. You get what
Cad's a
you
man
fucking
of,
deserve. You get
man of
what
integrity,
you fucking deserve. That's what you
Cad
get when
Bane's-
your right hand man is that little fucking idiot. That's what you get. You lose all your fucking money.
I don't know. I think like Cad, it just kind of reinforces his character. He's not gonna come back to his, you know, whoever's paying him and not give them exactly, you know, he's by the book sort of thing. Like,
I don't know. That's not at all
He's-
why he did that. He was hoping to get double the money.
Yourself into a corner, Joe. You know that's not true.
Yeah.
dude,
No, he's
not
going
returning-
to
think
the-
about it. He's a man of reputation. That's all he is. He's a man of reputation. He proves it. He's not coming back to
reputation of being an asshole bounty hunter, not a good upstanding citizen of society.
but
Joseph, you think people do and give him things because he's a good person?
I
No, I
said it
disagree.
wrong.
They're
I said this
terrified
wrong.
of fucking crossing this man.
I said
No,
this
that
wrong.
he
What
did
I'm
not do
going
this.
for. Okay, you're arguing over something I'm not even arguing for. So let me say what I actually want to say. Is that there's no way he's just taking the creds from Fennec Shand and then moving on, is what I meant to say. There's no way he's just going to take him and then switch Omega. No. Dudes, I don't think that ever crosses his mind of being like, you know what? Let me actually just do that.
I think there's two situations where he walks out of there. Either he does do that, or he takes the credits and takes Omega, and then brings Omega to the Kaminoans and says, "Listen, I still need my money. I never got paid. Your person died or whatever," and just lies to him to get double payment. It's not a situation where he's going to be like, "Oh, I'm a good guy, so I'm going to take the bounty money and I'm going to return Omega safe and sound."
Yeah. Ultimately,
Also,
Joe, you were right.
Also, Kyler,
I ended up agreeing with Miles, which was just an expansion upon your point.
Yeah.
So, good job.
Also, Kyler, the reason that he's such a shit sidekick, maybe had Cad Bane programmed him better. Since he's just a lifeless construct and has no soul. Maybe if Cad Bane had programmed him better, he wouldn't be such a shithole.
Okay.
So ultimately, it's Cad Bane that you hate, not Todo.
I took a fuck Cad Bane stance very early on. But Todo pulls up, takes the case out of Fennec's hand, and she just tosses a grenade at this man, and I was like, kill him! And then it didn't. I'm just like on a murderous rage against this droid throughout the entire watch of it. For the record, that's not true. But Omega takes this opportunity to make a break for it, and she.
Sorry, I'm so confused about how the damage of a what do they call these the little grenade thing. What do they call those?
Thermal detonators.
Yes, thermal detonator. I'm so confused because sometimes it looks like it is the most dangerous weapon known to man on the planet, and that if you threw it anywhere within a fucking 200 yards of someone, they would be immediately disintegrated. And then there are other times where it is within 3 feet of Cad Bane, and my dude walks it off like a champ.
That's Hollywood for you.
Yeah, Tyler, it all depends on what they need at that time.
Does this person need to die?
It's the same thing as Hunter getting shot in the chest and being fine.
Okay.
Yeah, back to tank, bro. Is that what they did to him? What did they do to him? Did they put him in contained back to tank? That was kind of like
thing?
Was he kind of like a back to something?
He was healed off screen. He was healed off screen.
Exactly. But
Wrecker actually knows the Force and he knows how to Force heal. So he just gave him a quick Force heal.
True.
Can you imagine him? I wish I could do an impersonation like Colton, so I could try to imagine what that would sound like. But
what do you want to be said?
I don't know. I was gonna try to just do it, but I didn't want to just never having tried it, just try it and I don't trust myself.
Just try to give a
the Force and the Force is with me. I'm one with the Force and the Force is with me.
What the fuck is that from? Why does that?
Rogue One. The blind dude.
Oh, is that what it? Okay.
The Clone Wars. But
gotcha.
Cad Bane comes around this corner to find no one, and he attempts to sneak around another when he is met with another thermal detonator and walks that shit off. He does get knocked out temporarily. He is incapacitated for a second, but he is ultimately not injured, which I think is the point Kyler was more making.
Yeah, he doesn't even have a scratch. My dude looks unscathed. All it did was just give him a little head ooh.
What is he supposed to be, a snake or a reptile? What is he supposed to be?
Joseph, this is a spin. Joseph,
actually show up in the Mos Eisley Cantina in Star Wars Episode 4. There's a cut in the Mos Eisley Cantina of blue creatures with big red eyes that look exactly like Cad Bane, which is interesting.
Joseph, this is a continue. No, Joseph, this is a spin-off of Rango. That's what this is. This is a spin-off of Rango.
That makes perfect sense.
It all comes together. But Omega finds her way to a room with a bunch of vats in it. Green hue. Pickle jars, if you will. And there's some beings inside. And this scene where Omega sees her reflection in the vat, really fucked me up for a second. Because I was like, can you imagine being a clone and approaching a vat where other clones did not successfully get created, and then be like, oh shit, this is how I was created?
I went with a completely different vein on that, my first thought was I was like, all right, where the fuck is the jump scare? Because this
That's
is like
what I
classic,
thought. I thought we were getting
alien-esque
like,
scene.
yeah, I thought we were getting like Spider-Man video game and credits. Spoiler alert.
Okay, why is this planet
fucking
so...
Osborn puts his hand on the glass and then the fucking symbiote comes off Harry and touches the glass.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I thought for sure she was gonna be like looking inside of it, and then we were just gonna see it like shift or something. Like even if it wasn't alive or not, but we were at least gonna see like the Kaminoan inside of it fucking like fall over into the glass or something and scare the shit out of her.
Gotcha.
So-
what you thinking on over there, Joe?
Is this planet just Cad Bane's kind of hideout, or is this a colony of Kamino that's like abandoned?
Yeah, it's a failed.
thing.
So it's like an
It's
abandoned...
a failed Kaminoan colony.
So this is like... Do you think this is pre-Django, like DNA, like cloning? Like this is like before that sort of thing? Because I mean, this is like way different from the...
Yeah, because I think in like the extended universe, the Kaminoans like had tried to like colonize other planets, but they all just kind of failed. And then whenever in like the same vein of like their home planet, like all the shit happened on it and all that stuff, and so they just decided, you know what, we're just gonna stay on our home planet and focus on, you know, making real good clones instead of trying to colonize and do all that stuff. And so they, instead of, you know, creating colonies and going off world and all that stuff, they just stay on their planet and make all their money cloning for other people.
Well, it looks like this was still a cloning center.
Was it active or not? Yeah, that's
not
that's
active. This
Yeah,
was
it was
abandoned for my.
Yeah,
for
that's
my
what I mean. Is that like they realized like the like cloning on other worlds wouldn't work well for them, and so they
no.
just
But do
abandoned
you think
all
someone
the
is still
facilities.
using this facility to clone?
No, I don't. No.
No.
Because like Cad Bane's connected to a lot of people, dude. Cad Bane's connected to a lot of people. You know.
Well, it's not Cad Bane's meeting place. It's the Kaminoans' meeting place.
Oh, they were the ones who... I thought Cad just
they
went
told him
here.
to head
Like,
there.
I thought he just went here as
No.
sort of like...
They had
okay.
that little another hologram meeting.
Damn, I'm really bad about holograms, man. I guess I just don't listen during them. Damn.
They are easy to zone out during.
Maybe I need to pay attention a little bit better. To the show.
But you know, Omega takes this opportunity to approach this computer and try to get the power going, and she activates a signaling tower of some sort. I'm taking it as the comms tower is my guess, and Echo sees the signal and figures out it's in the Lido system, and you know, he turns the ship around and they hop into hyperspace straight there, and you know, Todo approaches, finding Cad Bane passed out, and he's like, "Don't worry, I will recover the target." It's like, fuck you, dude, die. But I'm sorry. It's just now it's just an ongoing joke.
Crazy
I don't know.
that it's
Yeah.
not. It's crazy that it's not me and Miles wanting him to die, and you two not wanting him.
It
to
really
live.
is
Like, it
kinda crazy.
No,
insane.
that was the craziest part to me.
This is insane.
It's
Yeah.
a real
This is-
backward situation we've got going on.
I can't
For
believe
real.
the TVA hasn't showed up for this one. Being honest.
Maybe the tide is changing. But you know, he says, you know, he won't fail Cad Bane, and Fennec then finds Omega, and she asks why she killed Tonway, and Fennec is, you know, she's like, it's part of the job. And she's like, you should thank me. Prime Minister had a lot worse ideas for you. And Omega's like, what would he want me for? And Fennec goes, you know. You already know that. And she looks up to the vats of the failed clones and gets scared. She backs away real slowly, and Fennec, you know, she approaches her and she says, you know, she's trying to help. And Omega, you know, she's like, I remember the last time you said that on Pantora. That didn't go my way. Not exactly. And, you know, right at this moment, Todo shows up again, fucking everything up, and goes for Omega. And Fennec quickly loads him up with a couple throwing knives, and I was like, that's got to be it, right? That's got to be it. It wasn't. And then, you know, she knocks him out with a roundhouse kick up into this vat that cracks it a little bit.
She hit Cad Bane. Fennec Shand hit Cad Bane with an uppercut with her helmet. Like, the backside of her helmet. I have
shit was
never
crazy.
seen anything like that, and that was so fucking sick. I don't know if I just went ahead or backwards, but
I'm not sure either, but it is important to point that out because I saw that and went, "What the fuck?"
That was so
dope.
cool. Like, it reminded me of watching fucking when McGregor knocked out Cowboy with that weird ass move where he just literally kept hitting him with his shoulder. That, like, when I saw that, I was like, what the? That's
It's just like it was like a real fighting move. It's a move you don't think of, but it's just a thing you would do during a fight, you know?
Like if you were in that position, your opponent's above you, and you're just like, fuck it, I'm going to swing my head up.
See ya. You know, my helmet's probably going to hurt more than my fist, so
yeah,
let's send it. Ding. Ring
I loved
bell.
it though. I loved it though, but you know, after she roundhouse kicks Todo into the vats, Omega goes over to the computer to release the vat on top of Fennec, and the body collapses onto her, and she's covered in that icky green sludge stuff. And during this time, Omega finds her way outside. She locates some flight pods, and she just has to figure out a way down there. And she finds a ladder, but, you know, not before Cad Bane can... And this part was a little like... Okay. Like, it was like, she showed up out of nowhere and saved her, and then Cad Bane dispatched her, and it was like, fuck. And then, again, just for one more time, just in case she didn't get it, she came back in out of nowhere and hit him up against a wall, and it was like, okay.
Yeah, fight continues.
Fight continues. Fight just keeps going on. But
flight pods, though, are these are meant for like short distances? I'm assuming.
I'm thinking they are meant to get you up out of the atmosphere and onto another ship. My guess is they have been long abandoned and therefore are not fueled up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, so I was wondering, because it was like pointed up. So I'm like, this looks like it's meant to go off world. Like, you know, it's meant to shoot you up. But, like, how she ran out of fuel so fast and how it just broke so fast, you know, like, makes sense now that it's just been abandoned for
I don't think she ran out of fuel. I think whenever she's, like, flying away, Todo is fucking, like dings off of her, and a chunk of the outside, like, flies off, and you see sparks coming out of it as she's flying away.
Oh, do you think that's what made it?
And then as she's, like, crashing, you see smoke coming off of it in that point.
What are you telling me?
Yeah, even more reason to hate Todo.
You're telling me throughout this whole episode, I've taken this extraordinarily, me and Kyler have taken this extraordinarily anti-Todo stance. He takes the action that gets the closest to killing Omega.
Yeah.
And y'all are still okay with it.
100%. She's not dead, is she?
Okay, don't group me with Miles. I'm not with Miles. I'm not with any of you.
Joe, you fucking love Todo.
No,
Joe,
I don't.
You love Todo.
I don't love him. I don't hate him. He's just a character. He's a guy I don't even think about. I didn't think of Todo at all after this episode was over. You know?
I kind of there with
a thought on Todo until this episode, and guess what? I fucking hate him.
With Joseph there, I didn't think about Todo really at all during the episode, and then the right out the gate hatred for him, I had to my love for him increased. But really, I don't know if that was actually what happened. That was something that I noticed whenever she like shot off, was he like dinged off of her and a plate from the outside of it fell off.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. And they didn't really say what happened, like why the thing was going down. So it could well be that like that flew off, and it was also just like that was just it's old as fuck, and then also once again it's old as fuck.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah, I'm with you there for sure. But you know, here Fennec, you know, fights Bane, and she distracts him long enough for Omega to get to the ladder, and on her way down, she is confronted by Todo, who here she decides, fuck it, I'm going to send it, and she just jumps on him and rides him all the way down to the platform, which was a fun little idea. Very stupid. Egregiously dumb. However, you know, this thing wasn't going to stop fucking with her. So
okay, sorry. You want to know what's funny? Is in this moment, I don't know what it was, but when I saw her on the ladder and I saw him kept fucking with her and she just kept trying to go around the ladder, I'm like, Omega, what are you doing? Like, that's not going to work. You're not going to be able to get him, like, beat him down or around the ladder. Like, I was like,
she took a little leap of faith too. She dropped this ladder.
No, but like what I was like in my head as soon as I was like saying that to myself, I'm like, oh, she's about to jump. She's gonna jump on top of this motherfucker, isn't she? Yeah. And then as soon as I said that, she literally climbed onto the side and like mounted up, getting ready to jump. And I thought, oh fuck, here we go.
Exactly. But, Bane and Fennec, they continue their fight as, Omega passes the incapacitated Todo to a flight pod, and as she gets in, Todo jumps off of his head and flies on upward for the flight pod, and he tries to stop the pod, standing in front of it, thinking he will do something. It turns out this does absolutely nothing. She just goes ahead and takes off, and he ultimately is forced to, drop off there. But Bane kicks Fennec in the face next, as he is notified by Todo that Omega is getting away. And he instructs Todo to get to the ship as Fennec rises to continue the battle. She doesn't fucking quit, man. She is protecting Omega so she can get that bag. And, Bane's like, fuck this. Flamethrower.
How can she get that bag anymore, though? The person who was with her is...
She's getting a separate bounty. A bounty from Nala Se to protect Omega.
Oh, I thought Nala Se and the Kaminoan that died on this planet were the same.
No. Oh, no. Separate people.
That makes a lot more sense. Okay, because then, that I was so confused on why Fennec killed her, and you guys were just went along with it like it was nothing. I'm like, why the fuck would she kill her? That's where she's getting paid from. I just went along with it because I didn't want to seem like an idiot. But now it makes more sense. It's not even the same person.
We should have cleared that up for you. But, he instructs Todo to get to the ship. He unleashes the flamethrower on Fennec. She jumps out of the way, and she grabs her little fucking hillbilly golf things and just chucks them at Cad Bane. It wraps him up, and she kicks him straight over this ledge, and then he just goes full Star-Lord and just boosts himself up by these ankle boosters, and he flies over the ledge and plops on down. I was like, that was a dope scene. And Cad Bane is definitely everything Star-Lord wishes he was.
We thought Mando was like Space Batman, but really, Cad Bane is the real space, Batman type. He's a space cowboy. We referred to Mando as a space cowboy, and then we found Space Batman fit him better.
Yeah.
But Bane, he is the space cowboy. Yeah.
Some people call me the space cowboy. Yeah. That song's so fucking good. But, with Omega in the escape pod, it begins to free fall as she runs out of juice, and she's bracing herself for the inevitable fall when she is caught by the Marauder, and the hatch opens up and Wrecker's there. She couldn't be more happy to see them. He picks her up and twirls her around, then gives her a hug there, and I was like, oh, this is... I teared up. I'm not even going to cap. I was like, this is so fucking cute. But, Hunter, she runs over to Hunter. She gives him a hug, and he winces at the pain when she puts her head directly on his wound. And she's on the verge of tears. She's overwhelmed when she asks, why is this happening? Why are the Kaminoans after me? And Echo's like, yo, Hunter, you got to tell her. And he's like, Omega, you're more valuable than any of us. You are far and away more valuable. You're different. She's like, how am I different? Then we cut to Bane, boarding his ship to find it has been sabotaged by one Fennec Shand. And she takes off for the stars and intercepts a transmission from Nala Se, who says she needs an update. Fennec tells her that Omega is in the hands of the same clones that she ran into on Pantora. And Nala's like, okay, that's cool. As long as she's not with this fucking guy. Because that would be bad. And, Fennec's like, you ever need anything, just hit me up. Hit me up. I'm around. I got you. And we cut back to the Marauder. And we're back with Hunter. And, we see Wrecker and Tech passed out. And I liked the vibe of this scene. It's the late night. Dad can't fall asleep. He gets to have a one-on-one with the kid. It's it was a good one for me. And, Omega approaches and he asks, can't sleep? And she says she can't stop thinking about the Kaminoans. She doesn't want to end up an experiment in a tube. And Hunter assures her that won't happen. And she retorts, if I'm as valuable as you say, Lama Su won't stop sending bounty hunters after me. And Hunter says, he can send every single one of them in the galaxy. You have us. And, she's like, and clearly, Cad Bane having just defeated Hunter is going to scare the shit out of her. These are the people she thought were invincible. she says, you can't fight them all. And like now, like it seems like a now I know that sort of thing. Like you can't make it out of every single one of these situations and be okay. We got to come to some sort of safe point because they'll just keep coming. And Hunter kneels in front of her and promises her that she will never be going back to Camino. She smiles, and we cut to black.
Do you think Omega? So the idea that I got after this, it's either I see Omega sacrificing herself for the group eventually.
I want to hear something real quick. So they can't kill Todo because it's a children's show.
Mm-hmm.
But the child will sacrifice herself for the grown men.
Not like she will die, but she will go back to Camino so that like these bounty hunters stop going after.
Gotcha.
That sort of sacrifice. I will give myself up for these guys.
That makes a lot more sense. Thank you.
We're gonna see Omega jump in front of a blaster bullet.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. No.
Take one for Hunter and just die on the spot.
Like whenever
push me further into my Todo hole.
Whenever like the promise was made that she will never go back to Camino, it's foreshadowing that she will be back at Camino.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because we've seen it over and over. Anakin promising Shmi, I'll come back and free you. Promise doesn't work out. And I'm a little worried because the most recent promise besides this one we've gotten is, I'll see you again. I promise. From Din to Grogu. Now that one feels a little more obvious.
It should happen.
If that doesn't happen, Disney, I'm burning your fucking studios to the ground. Sorry, I had to get another one out.
Classic.
We have made that threat many times, but that one is actually serious. Not really, obviously, but
it is serious.
Well, I mean, if that happens, I'm coming to the studio and I'm at least murdering Todo.
Someone's probably gonna die. Maybe we're not going to kill anybody, obviously, but like someone out there would.
Whenever you say you're murdering Todo, are you just like destroying like the prop or like the the file in the animation that is Todo, or are you killing Seth Green? Okay, I just want to be sure you were just going all the way to Seth Green.
I'm going straight to the source.
You prune him.
Obviously, I don't have a deep enough hatred for a television character to threaten a real actor's life. That would be insane. Is that a real thing people do? Yes.
All the time.
It's pathetic. It is pathetic.
Wrong.
Don't do that.
Seth Green, watch your fucking back. Colton's coming for you.
You better step away from the role of Todo.
What if we see him on Twitter be like, God, I'm so sorry. I'm publicly announcing that I made the worst decision in my entire life of playing this character. I don't know why I did it, honestly. Just doing a favor for, doing a favor.
Sacrifices himself the way Omega will.
Yeah. Dude publicly apologizes, tries not to get canceled because Todo's trending on Twitter. Cancel Todo. The world's very different tomorrow, boys.
Okay, I don't have anything else to say about this episode. It was a good one.
I feel like we peaked there.
We peaked there. This is far and away the only podcast where you will hear so much discourse on the droid known as Todo. It was the Penny Bloom podcast. This was Bad Batch Bitches. And I was Colton Robertson, joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, buddy.
Thank you for having me. I hope we come back next week or next time a little bit more chilled out about Todo, maybe. We can discuss. I'll be the mediator if you would like me to.
You telling me to chill out.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said anything.
More fired up about Todo. But, thank you. Again, thank you for being here.
How about this? I'll take a wild different stance.
You could light the fire inside me that could burn a passion so strong for a hatred in Todo.
You two want him dead. Miles, you want him alive at all costs. I want to eat him. There you go. I will be the... I will be...
Full circle.
Yep,
it goes
I'll
full
eat him.
Circle from September.
I don't want him just dead. I want to eat him. There you go. That's what I'll leave. Those will be my closing words.
That's a good way to...
Joseph, you don't want to eat Todo. You want to eat Seth Green.
Yes.
Go straight to the source.
You need Seth Green in your mouth. We were also joined by Miles Buttress.
Hey man, I mean, happy to be here. I'll come back anytime. But I'm gonna go ahead and throw a wrench in this. Toto lives forever.
Fuck.
Toto will die
Fuck
next week.
no.
Even?
Maybe.
Hopefully.
Maybe.
Fingers
Maybe.
crossed.
We'll see, but I'll see you even sooner for Loki's losers. We were also joined by KBZ, Kyler Barnett. Thank you very much, homie.
Absolutely. It's still fuck Todo and fuck Squadcast till the day I die on my mama.
Here's the thing. I'd ride to the gates of hell for you in saying fuck Todo. Because it's fuck Todo for life. But bottom line, head to patreon.com/CoroBloom. Unfortunately, no extended version of this episode today due to some technical difficulties. But we have over 10 hours of content that I know you haven't heard, so you might as well make your way over there. And follow us on Twitter at PennyBloomPod, on Instagram at PennyBloomPodcast.
OnlyFans at OnlyFans Penny Bloom.
Exactly.
That was a joke.
It's not though.
Someone's going to create that now. I swear to God, if someone actually creates that, I will.
Well, hey,
personally
it's
find
moving
you.
away from that kind of content anyway. So maybe we need to look into getting on OnlyFans for real. Actually,
Maybe we do need to spread out our social media platforms. Gotta include
Maybe
everything.
we should start taking nudes and putting them on OnlyFans.
Let's do it.
Just a proposal. Maybe that's where Joseph can eat Seth Green.
That's the ultimate Patreon exclusive content.
Remember, peace, love, and bloom, and always say, "Fuck Todo."
Bobbity bobbity.